Very good morning and welcome to Athavan News. Today Monday 11th of January 2016. Today's paper highlights read by Edward Udayadas Devasakayam Pillai. Now let's move to have a look on today's Daily Mirror. Constitution with basic structure that cannot be changed, Kiriyala. The government is looking towards compiling a constitution with a basic structure that cannot be changed forever, Senior Minister and Leader of the House Laxman Kiriyala said yesterday. Mr. Kiriyala told a media briefing that the intention of the government is to compile a constitution with basic structure that cannot be amended even if all 225 members of parliament vote in favor of such a change. Government to introduce health insurance scheme, Prime Minister. Promising major social and economic reforms, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said the government intended to introduce a health insurance scheme this year. MSRW urged to give Buddhism foremost place. The Buddha Sasana Karya Sadhaka Mandalaya comprising of the Mahasangha and several leading Buddhist organizations have appealed to President Maithripala Sirisena that Article 9 of the present constitution, which ensures that Buddhism be given the foremost place and also guaranteed that it is the duty of the state to protect and foster the Buddha Sasana, should be included in the constitution of Sri Lanka without any amendments. One killed, another injured in Kadawatha shooting. One person was killed and another injured when an unidentified group hacked and shot at two individuals at Gonahena in Kadawatha yesterday morning. Police said the two were critically injured and when they were admitted to Ragama Hospital, where one succumbed to his injuries. According to the police, the gang who had arrived in vehicles and stabbed the victims using sharp weapons and later shot at them before fleeing from the scene. Police suspect the tragedy may have occurred due to personal dispute. Police are yet to determine the cause of the incident and no one has been arrested as yet. Man arrested with 1.176 kilogram of heroin. The 38-year-old suspect, a resident of Watala, has been identified as a large-scale drug smuggler. The heroin worth 25 million rupees was seized when the suspect was in the process of selling the drugs. An individual was arrested with 1.176 kilograms of heroin in Kadawatha during a raid carried out by the Kadawatha Anti-Vice Squad last morning. Police said the heroin worth 25 million rupees was seized when the suspect was in the process of selling the drugs to an individual near the Kadawatha Muslim cemetery. Now let's move to today's daily news. Excise duty on vehicles, concessions gazetted this week. Over 3,000 vehicles being held in customs yard, only applicable for private vehicles. The excise duty rates that prevailed before the presentation of Budget 2016 will be applicable to vehicle imports which had letters of credit opened on or before November 20. The new regulations, which are to be gazetted this week, will only be applicable to vehicles imported for private use, Treasury officials said. Fire at Muscalia Tea Estate destroys 16 houses. 16 houses were completely gutted and around 90 people displaced following a fire at a tea plantation in Muscalia on Saturday. The fire erupted around noon when most plantation workers had left for work. The fire had completely destroyed household items. No injuries were reported. The estate management and government authorities have taken steps to look after the needs of the displaced. The police said an electric short circuit was the cause of the fire. Probe into sale of outdated explosives imported in 2013. The Presidential Commission of Inquiry has begun investigation with regard to an incident of the alleged sale of 100 metric tons of expired explosives imported in 2013 to various persons. Sujatha Damayanthi Jayaratna, who held the post of Defense Ministry Additional Secretary during the previous regime, allegedly involved in this case, has left the country. Commission investigation officers had recorded statements from Jayaratna during her previous visit. The commission is conducting investigations with regard to the value of the explosives and other facts. Navy seizes 10 million rupees worth sea cucumber. 5 persons with an illegal haul of 950 kilograms kilograms of sea cucumber were nabbed by the Navy on Saturday at Kapaladi, Kalpitiya. The sea cucumber, estimated to be worth at least 10 million rupees, had been smuggled from India via sea using a small fishing craft. They were to be transferred ashore at the time of arrest, Navy media stated. Finally, we have a look on today's Ceylon Today. Sex and Love Concert. Colombo Municipal Council swears live events. Largest entertainment fraud in Sri Lanka. Muzammil claims Colombo Municipal Council incurred a massive loss. AG to file action before Colombo High Court. Reliable sources informed that a group of politicians, top-level security officials and public officials will be arrested and legal action will be taken against them with regard to their involvement and ordering of controversial murders and massive state property frauds which shook the country in the recent times. Although investigations into these serious crimes had been halted due to the interference and influence of certain politicians since the establishment of independent commissions, including the National Police Commission, the authorities have been able to cast their net over those responsible for these crimes which were previously swept under the carpet. Complaints pouring in. Over 3,600 have already told the President. The President's Secretariat has received over 3,600 complaints during the first 36 hours after Janapadita Kiyanna Tell the President initiative commenced last Friday. These complaints were lodged via the telephone number 1919 and the tell.president.government.lk website. The initiative commenced on 8 January and it allows any person to lodge a complaint with the President, express their opinions and lodge any suggestions. Take more grade 5 scholars. Education Minister tells popular schools. Minister of Education Akhila Viraj Karyavasam has instructed ministry officials to increase the intake of students passing the Year 5 scholarship examination to popular schools in the main cities. With that, we come to an end of today's paper highlights. We will come with more news tomorrow morning. Thanks for listening to Athavan News.